People in Iran are watching and waiting for the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. The nation is being hit hard by the coronavirus. Heavy economic sanctions imposed by the Trump administration are cutting the country off from the resources it needs to fight the virus. So how does Iran view the uncertainty still hanging over the presidential race? And do they believe an administration change will help them? Joining us now to talk about the election is CBS senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer. She's in Tehran. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us. So what are Iranians making of the U.S. election so far?
Hi, Tanya. Well, they're baffled by the process for a start. Certainly, we've had to explain to many people how the Electoral College works, and they're also amazed at how long it's taking to get a result. As for the leadership, you know that the default position for the Iranian leadership is to loudly criticize and insult the United States at every turn. And in this instance, President Trump has really played into their hands. The Supreme Leader has tweeted, "This is the most fraudulent election in American history." And then he went on to say rhetorically, and who said that? The sitting president.
So is the Iranian leadership openly backing one candidate over the other? I mean, that sounds pretty partisan right there.
Officially not. Both the Supreme Leader and the President, Rouhani, have said our policy toward the United States will remain the same no matter what the administration is. However, earlier in the week I had a chance to talk to the Foreign Minister, Jawad Zarif, well known to Americans, and I really pushed him on it. And he finally said, well, we think that the statements that were coming out of the Biden camp were what he called more promising. Now, that's diplomatic speak for maybe under a Biden administration, the U.S. and Iran could find themselves back at that nuclear table. And what Iran hopes, of course, is in return for a deal, a new deal, back to the old deal, we don't know. But what they really want is a relief from those sanctions, which have really hurt not only ordinary people's standard of living, but the value of the currency, and has really cut them off from things they need at the moment, most notably chemicals and equipment to scale up their COVID testing and treatment program.
And speaking of those ordinary people, what are everyday Iranians saying about this race? Are they even paying attention?
They are, but it feels remote because the chances that their lives will improve under a new American administration are dim. And that's because American-Iranian relations have never been, or not in the last 20 years, at such a low point. If you recall, just back in January, not even a year ago, the two countries were almost at war. Not a war of words, a real military war over the killing of Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian general. So the atmosphere is so toxic, people are so fed up and really despairing, and so they're following the election out of interest and because they are fascinated by the United States. Don't forget, many Iranians, millions of them have relatives in the United States, but it's kind of in principle, because they don't expect it. No matter who's in the White House, they don't expect their lives to change very much.
All right. Well, Elizabeth Palmer in Tehran, thank you.